fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and well, I'm happy to say that this is the what if that won the poll, or well, it was part of the video where I asked you guys to put 1,000 comments down in the comment section. Now, this is the idea that did win. And well, it's quite an interesting idea. Originally, someone asked for an alien princess girlfriend. I think that I can still fit that topic in there, however, I will not be putting that in the title, since alien princess girlfriend sounds a bit too long. Now, thank you guys for putting the comments down in that video to help me fill out my what if list once again. Now then, with that being said, let us begin. Our story starts with Izuku Midoriya, a 23-year-old police detective. Now, things are very different in this world. In this world, humanity has settlements on Mars. Humanity has settlements on the moon. Flying cars have been invented. Medicine has advanced centuries, if not light years into the future. And well, it's been quite an interesting life. Now, along with that, there is even where we do have Deku. He is different. Deku's noticed that growing up, there are people called freaks. Freaks are apparently the first generation of people that suffer from weird abnormalities in their DNA. And Deku, yeah, he is one of these freaks. Now, Deku doesn't understand it. As a kid, he didn't know what a freak was. However, as he did grow older, he discovered that he himself was one. He possesses an ability similar to, well, what would you best call it? Mind reading or telekinesis. He doesn't really understand it. He has some sort of ability to pick up on wavelengths. And as long as he does focus on that, he can do anything. He can lift up a spoon in the air. Along with it, he can read a mind. Now, Deku, yeah. The moment he discovered he had this ability and that he was one of these quote-unquote freaks, he hid his power. However, he did still want to use it. He was so curious about it. Most people, they suffer from physical abnormalities, while he looks completely 100% genuinely human. So, he was given this, well, curse for a reason. Now, Deku, yeah. So far, he's known as one of the best detectives on the force. At the age of 18, whenever he could, he tried to enroll in the police academy. And he did start taking courses to become a police detective. Now, Deku, he graduated at the top of his class. And the moment he was handed a case, he took it on with open arms. The number of solved cases Deku has done, it is at least double what people would consider to be the normal rate, or normal amount. Now, Deku, yeah. If there is a problem, he is always there to solve it. Deku sees himself as a bit of, well, not a hero, but a good guy. He just wants to look out for people who are in the wrong place or in the wrong time, since he was considered one of these unfortunate souls. Now, with that being said, we do actually have today. where Deku he's currently sitting down at a park and at least going over a case file. He's already spoken to the spouse and discovered what may have happened. Apparently the house it was said to have been broken into, and the people who were involved in this may have gotten away. It's believed that they may have been augs, or augmented with technology. Now, these people, they may have done this to more easily gain access to certain things, or just because they can. Now, most people take on these strange things, or they mutate or mutilate their bodies with technology, just because they can. Now, Deku is aware of certain people who are like this. There are some on the force, and well, it's not too much of a bad thing. However, too much is overdoing it. Now, Deku, he's already looked over his case file, and he actually has to look up from his file to see a mother and daughter sitting on a park bench, as he does look back down. Now, Deku, he does just think, okay, this case file he's already looked over. He's figured everything out. Deku going to pick up his phone as he does give a phone call. Now, Deku does at least give his report. He believes that what happened was quite simple. Whenever people broke into the house, it's possible that somebody had an augmented hand, and they use this hand to either pick the lock or break it, or straight up just break the lock and force entry. Afterwards, the man inside the house or the person who was in front was stabbed and killed. So, he believes that these mods, they were probably even brand new, considering the fact that his, well, items, or at least some of the items in his car, they were able to use and actually pick up on dead skin cells, along with even some oil that was found or left behind on the doorknob. Now, the man on the other end, he does ask Izuku if he really even knows where this oil comes from. And Deku he would explain. He's set his, well, one of the things in his car to at least try to track it and analyze its genetic makeup. All mods, they buy their oil from one place. And people, they at least usually filter it or do certain things to it to help it with metal. So, it's quite simple. Deku's been putting it down to this mod shop. If he heads there, he can just find out what happened. Find out who purchased the hand, find out who killed the man, and discover what other sorts of modifications they have. Now, the man does ask Izuku if he really does believe that this is him hanging up, as Deku does go to stand and leave. Now, Deku, as he does go to turn to leave, you actually have that little girl who was looking over at him, does actually come walking up. And Deku does turn his head to look down at her, as you actually have the mother of the girl who does come running up. Eri, you can't just... Your name's Eri? Yeah, are you a police officer? Sort of. Deku going to bend down. What is it? Well, I was curious. What sort of cases do you work? Or, well, what do you really do? Oh, well, that's simple. I try to help people as much as I can. People call me to fight the bad guys. Really? Yeah. However, I myself aren't really a particularly good person. So, you're a bad guy? No. But I have to be bad to take down the bad guys, do you understand? Now, the woman, she does actually tell Eri to come back over here. Deku looking up as he does see the woman, as she has introduced herself as Miss well, Haiso. Now, Deku does tell her that her daughter, she's quite, well, smart, and that she has a very creative imagination, as Deku does go to leave. Now, with that, Deku, he does head to this shop. Now, as Deku does walk into the shop, you actually have the man behind the counter, who he does see Deku. Now, Deku, he does just bring up his hand and show his badge. Putting it back in his pocket, he's just going to pull out a small device that he does at least set down on the table and then going to click a button on it. As a small screen does pop up, and Deku does going to at least grab it and turn it around. As it does flip behind, and the man does see it. Deku explains that that chemical signature right there is the same one that this shop does have. Okay, so you might explain to me why it's still there? Sir, I'm going to be honest with you. I believe that one of your clients murdered somebody last night, and I would like to see exactly who may have purchased a robotic hand. A lot of clients purchase robotic hands. Many of them also purchase synthetic eyes and other parts. So, what's your deal? Now, Deku, he does explain, as he does look at the man and go to read his mind. Now, Deku is listening to the man's thoughts. Okay, so this guy wants to know about this being the person's name. Maybe, maybe not. They're a good friend of his, but he can't rat them out like that. However, at the same time, his shop, it's going to go under if, well, his friend gets caught. Shit. Okay, sir, I should let you know that not giving me this information is considered an obstruction of justice, and I am legally allowed to take you in. So, would you like to comply? I don't see exactly what this has to do with my customer. I have a strict policy. All the customers I have, they have secure transactions here. And your shop is going to go under pretty soon, right? Now, the man does look at Deku. How the fuck do you know that? Come on. This shop's shitty. He couldn't have known too much about it. Not much business around here, right? Bad part of town? You know, the place where the advancements never got caught up to? Okay, well, maybe, maybe not. So, question is, what are you going to do? Now, Deku does look at the man, as he does talk about how he, at least, has a physical description of the man. Deku describing what his friend did look like. As the guy, he's just thinking, fuck. Now, the guy at least does start to imagine a picture of his friend, and Deku does go into more detail. As the guy at least does start to cave, talking about how fine. This is his friend, giving Deku the man's contact information, and where he does live, and where he might actually be. Now, Deku does inform the man that if he does cooperate, his shop might get a little bit more famous. And if he does help to catch somebody who did use one of his mods, then his reputation might actually somewhat increase. Now, the man, he does got to think. His friend's already going to be under the bus, so might as well get something out of it. Now, eventually the man, he does, at least, help the police catch his friend. Since he did talk about how he could install a new mod for him, that could help him. Now, this is where his friend did actually come in, and he was immediately busted by Deku and many other police detectives. Now, with that being said, Deku, he would actually file in his report in his car, as you do actually have where he does get a phone call from somebody. Deku picking up the phone and asking who it is. This is your lieutenant. I've heard you just finished the case. Hmm? Yeah. So, that was pretty fast. Wasn't too fast. I just went over some information and used my gear. Yes, about that. I was wondering if you could help with a case. Hmm? Okay. If I have to help somebody else with their fucking case again and I have to get distracted from my own, it's gonna be a bit of a problem. Sir, I understand that. No, 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 no. That's not it. Hmm? Okay, what is it? Well, that's just it. We have missing person reports, or at least strange sightings. Hmm? Okay, come on. The sightings again? There couldn't be much of it. Actually, that's just it. People think that there might be a freak running around out there. A freak? You know, more than usual. People don't know how to describe it. They talk about bright lights and disappearing for a few days only to come back out. You know, that weird type of bullshit. Okay, well, I can check it out. However, you should know that if I do, somebody needs to at least take the case off my desk. Hmm? What do you mean? There were at least 4 different cases on my desk. Assign somebody 2 of them. And if you can't assign them 2, at least assign all 4 of them to one person, or 4 to one person, or 1 to one person. I don't give a shit. Now send me the location and send me all the information. Now, the man does do this. As Deku at least does start to browse the information, he does bring up 2 fingers. I'm going to swipe the page. Okay, let's see. 5 years ago is when all this stuff started. That's weird. Huh. So, let's see. A man 5 years ago walked into the woods. He was camping with friends and family and he disappeared. He returned 3 weeks later with no memory of what happened. He believed that he just walked away to take a piss. That's pretty strange. Okay. Now, Deku just swiped through this entire stuff. More and more instances. Okay. Similarities here and there. Here are these bright lights people report about. Here's the area where the sighting was said to be. Now, Deku is just trying to understand it all. So, that's just it, isn't it? If he's right, then this is a report of a freak running around, using flashlights to scare people away from the forest, and, well, he's guessing there's a nest hidden there. Now, Deku, yeah. He understands what might be going on, so he's just gonna investigate it and try and scare them away. Or at least take some of them into custody since they're bothering the locals. Now, Deku, he does at least bring up his hand and go to press a finger on his car, or press a button on his car as it does turn on the autopilot. The car going to float up into the air as it is going to take off. And Deku, he does just do one thing. He does go to reach down to his jacket and go to grab a pill. Him opening the pill container as he does go to take one and put it in his mouth. As he does so, someone just lean back a bit and at least go to swallow it. Okay. Now, Deku is just trying to think. Okay. He's still got a few of these things left, so he'll be good for a while. Okay, let's see. Now, we actually do cut to 2 to 3 hours later, where Deku, he's at this location. And, well, he does start to investigate the area. He's trying to understand what happened here. Right now, it's already a bit too late at night. So, if he's correct, it should be around the time for these sightings. And if he's wrong, then he'll just see some bright light, which he'll just follow. Now, Deku's aware that this is considered a no-fly zone. since with all the heavy foot traffic around the area, it could cause problem for anybody who's on the ground. Now, Deku is still quite interested in what he might find here tonight. And we actually do have where he is looking around with his flashlight and at least trying to uncover what might be going on. Now, Deku, using his quirk, he's able to at least hear things and, well, sense certain things in a certain radius of him. He doesn't know any or find any human brainwaves, so that's at least somewhat good. No one can sneak up on him like this, so he'll be fine. Now, we actually do have for Deku, he does see a bright light. All of a sudden it does just pop up and go to aim towards his direction. Deku, turning off his flashlight, he does duck behind a tree. And he does go to reach down to get his gun ready. Now, Deku does pull his weapon, as he does look around the tree and they start to try and focus his quirk in that direction. Now, the moment Deku does, he does actually start to feel something strange in his head, as he does go to, well, fall forwards onto his hands and knees, as he does start to have a nosebleed. Now, Deku was quite surprised by that, as he does go to try and focus his mind and get back up onto his feet, since that's, well, had never happened before. Now, Deku does look around the tree, as he does see that bright light starting to move to the left and go fast. Now, Deku, he does start bolting that direction, as he does turn on his flashlight and start heading that way, as he does inform them that he's with the Tokyo Police Department, and that they need to stop right now. Now, Deku does shout that if they do not stop, he will shoot, as he's running through the forest, and eventually he does catch up to the target. Now, Deku does actually go to smash into them, as him and them do go rolling down and into a ditch, as they do continue rolling and smashing to the ground. Now, eventually Deku, he does actually land hard and feel his target directly on top of him, as he does feel them beginning to move, as Deku does go to grab them by their wrist and go to at least spin them down and pin them onto the ground, as he does inform them that this freak has been, as he does actually start to feel something strange. Now, there is whenever Deku does go to reach down for his phone and go to at least go to turn it on, as the person who's underneath him, they're staring at him, and Deku, he's kind of freaking out a bit. He's frozen since the person who's underneath him, they don't appear to be a freak, or at least not one he's seen before. And Deku is just watching them as they're just staring up at him. They're not moving, and Deku's quite confused, as Deku does go to open his mouth, asking if they understand exactly how much trouble they've been causing. Now, the person that's, well, underneath Deku, they actually go to bring up their legs and go to kick Deku in the back as he does go to lean forwards. Now, Deku does go to drop his phone as the person they do actually go to bring their hands up and go for Deku's, well, throat. Deku going to at least try to go to bring up his other hand since he can hardly see. Now, as Deku does go to bring up his other hand to grab away at their left wrist, they actually do pull Deku's face right into theirs. And this strange woman does actually kiss Deku. Now, as that does happen, Deku, he does feel some strange thing in his head. It's quite fuzzy and weird. It's weird, as if he's floating while in the clouds. He can't think. Deku passing out. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.